Bill Cosby walked free today after the Supreme Court of Pennsylvania overturned his assault conviction, leaving his accusers stunned. Cameras captured Cosby returning to his home outside Philadelphia just hours after the ruling came out. The judges pointing to a vast violation of Cosby's due process rights in the decision. So what happened? Well, more than a decade ago, a prosecutor decided not to charge the actor. Cosby then agreed to testify in a civil case, and during that admitted to giving quaaludes to a woman he was pursuing. That became key evidence in the subsequent criminal trial. The judge's ruling that should not have been used, writing, "He must be discharged, and any future prosecution on these particular charges must be barred. We do not dispute that the remedy is both severe and rare, but it is warranted here, indeed compelled." They say he cannot be retried on these same charges. His attorneys said today he never should have been charged in the first place. Bill Cosby came out of his house with his lawyers today, who talked to reporters there. Cosby was silent, but later gave an interview to a radio station.
This is for all the people who have been imprisoned wrongfully, regardless of race, color, or creed. Because I met them in there. People who talked about what happened and what they did. And I know there are many liars out there.
His accuser in this case, Andrea Constand, said she is disappointed and hopes it does not discourage other women from coming forward. In 2018, a jury convicted Cosby of 3 counts of aggravated indecent assault against Constand. Constand accused him of drugging and sexually assaulting her in his home outside Philadelphia back in 2004. Bill Cosby has denied all accusations of wrongdoing and said his contact with Constand was consensual. He served 2 years of his 3 to 10-year sentence. More than 60 women have accused Cosby of misconduct, ranging from groping to sexual assault to rape, going back decades. And at the time, the Cosby conviction was widely considered the first major win for the Me Too movement. David Henderson, now civil rights attorney, former prosecutor, CNBC contributor. David, where does this case go from here, if anywhere?
Well, Shep, I think the basic answer is nowhere. In theory, it could be appealed to the United States Supreme Court because it does involve a federal question as to the law, but the Supreme Court's very unlikely to take this case up because it largely circles around state law. So I think that this is it. Bill Cosby's not going to face prosecution.
It's likely shocking for many in the public to read on social media it was. Were you surprised?
I am surprised because basically the court carved out a new rule, which means that when a prosecutor makes a public statement that he's not going to prosecute an individual, that is equivalent to a deal for immunity. Because if you look at this 79-page opinion that the court handed down, they didn't say Bill Cosby's innocent, and they clarify this prosecutor made a deal under the table not to prosecute him because he's been sued in civil court. And this is an example where 2 wrongs don't make a right.
Was there a strong case for a reversal here, David?
You know, I don't think there was a strong case for reversal here, Shep, because I've never seen a court do this before. And what people have to understand is it's legal for detectives to lie to suspects. Prosecutors make misrepresentations on a regular basis in the context of trying to get convictions. I'm not saying that's always right. I am saying it's unusual that a time when they chose to clamp down was at the expense of a victim of sexual assault.
How rare is it, David, for an appeal like this to result in a vacated decision?
You know, Shep, I can't think of another example quite like this off the top of my head, because what's important to point out is the Supreme Court said they had a problem with the way the evidence was used after Bill Cosby gave a deposition in a civil case. What they could have done was said it was wrong to use that evidence, so we're sending this back down for a new trial without
admitting. The big story on Action News tonight is the stunning reversal of fortune for Bill Cosby. The Pennsylvania State Supreme Court today overturned his sexual assault conviction and ordered him released from jail. This was the scene from Chopper 6 as Cosby arrived at his home in Elkins Park for the first time in almost 3 years. The court ruled that Cosby had not received a fair trial because the Montgomery County DA was allowed to enter as evidence Cosby's verbatims from an incriminating deposition that another DA had promised would never be used against Cosby. Cosby did not go into any of that when he talked to ABC News today after his release.
And nobody had the sense to say, wait 1 second, this doesn't match up with the truth. This is not what I was taught in college. This is not what I was taught at home, etc., etc.
Bill Cosby was the first high-profile celebrity convicted in the Me Too era. The woman he was convicted of drugging and assaulting, Andrea Constant, plus 50 other accusers, are obviously distraught. Constant issued this statement today, which reads in part, "We remain grateful to those women who came forward to tell their stories, to DA Kevin Steele and the excellent prosecutors who achieve a conviction at trial, despite the ultimate outcome, which resulted from a procedural technicality, and we urge all victims to have their voices heard."